Hello, my name is Anne Ekrube Fine Cakes, and today I want to share with you my edible painting techniques. It's what I love to do so much. I love to paint, it helps me really relax. And before now, it used to be very difficult, very technical. It requires a lot of knowledge and skill to do this, but it's not as difficult as you may think. It's just for you to understand. All you need to do is to understand the technique and the procedures. For me, I like to paint on cakes using edible colors, and I prefer dry colors to gel or paste colors. I use water. I don't use alcohol. And the reason why I use water to blend my dry colors is because it doesn't evaporate so fast, so it gives you time to still do your blending and smoothing and all of that. And for you, if you plan to cover or paint on fondant cake, it's very important that you cover the fondant, your cake or dummy, ahead of time, preferably a day, so that the humid on the fondant can evaporate and give you a dry surface to work with, so that it doesn't absorb too much water. But when you're using water to dilute your colors, please be very careful so that you don't wet your surface so much with water. And if it's too wet, it may not be easy to blend smoothly because of the presence of CMC. So you will need the surface to dry before you can start applying your colors gradually and gradually. And before you can have any realistic image, there are lots of colors that needs to be built on. I usually start with the light colors, then I start building on it gradually. You don't want to start with heavy colors. Like my horse is a brown. I wouldn't just start with brown. I would first start with light shade. You know, the beauty of art is the presence of light and dark shade. It makes it look realistic when you have the light and dark shade. Okay, so I start building on the lights background gradually until I get the desired image. It really doesn't take that long. Like, this project took me practically 2 days. I started at night. Okay, I started at night, and most times I like to do this when it's at my convenient time. It's not something you want to rush through. So I started a day before. Gradually I did the sketching on it. And to sketch is, except you're a professional artist, you may not be able to sketch directly. And one thing you must do before you do your sketching is to determine the size of the image, how big you want it to be. So if I want it big and bold, then I also know that my cake has to be big to accommodate the size of the image. So I start by transferring the image on it, on the cake, by sketching. We have different ways of doing of transferring image on the surface, especially for those of us who are not professional artists. That's the first thing to do. And after that, I start applying my colors, paying attention to the original image so that I'm able to replicate it as real as possible. So it's fun basically. It's fun basically, and this is something anybody can do. For me, I'm not an artist. I just learned the skill, got used to it, and right now I can paint anything conveniently on cake. So if you're interested, we have some classes online, available online, that can expose you to the tricks on how to do this on fondant. And this knowledge is applicable. You can apply it, and it's very, very interesting. You may want to learn it for the fun of it, and you may want to learn it because you love to paint like me on cakes. And you can see how realistic it's coming out. It's looking really nice. I have just done the image, the horse, and I'm doing the background painting, introducing light and dark green to make it look realistic and all of that. So I have my sky painted in blue, and then I have the tree effect and all of that all put together makes this project an awesome project. I really loved the outcome. I was so pleased with it. I didn't know I could do this, but it was something I had longed to do, and I just felt this is the time to do it. You know that feeling you know that feeling when you nail it, right? That's how I feel right now. That's how I feel right now. So I'm going to be sharing with you some of this technique from time to time, and I hope that those who really desire to paint on cakes will be encouraged to do so, knowing that it's something you can do. You don't need to be a professional to do this. All you need to do is to be determined and to know the basic, which I'm going to be sharing with you. And if you're interested, you can get some of our classes online,